Hello students, welcome once again to our channel Score High to Soar High. In this video, today we are going to see the 7th derivation of Class 12 Physics, Lesson 1 Electrostatics. Come on, let us move on to see the derivation. Derivation number 7. Actually, this is the part 7 of this video series. Electric field due to an infinitely long charged wire. Before we discuss this derivation, let us understand an important concept called areal vector. Here comes a square shaped area. Now I am going to place a rod perpendicular to this surface. Now look at this rod, I am going to place it perpendicular to this surface. So here, this rod represents the areal vector of this surface. So what is meant by an areal vector? Any vector which is drawn perpendicular to any surface or area is known as areal vector. By keeping this in mind, let us derive the derivation. Now have a closer look at this diagram. Here there is a charged wire which is infinitely long, which means it extends both up and downwards infinitely. Now this wire is charged positively. It is a positively charged wire. Now let us imagine a Gaussian surface around it, which is in the cylindrical form. Now what is the shape of a wire? A wire is in the cylindrical form. So the Gaussian surface which we are going to imagine around it is also in the form of a cylinder. So I have drawn a cylindrical Gaussian surface around this wire, and let me divide this Gaussian surface into three regions. Region number 1 and region number 2 and region number 3. Now this cylindrical Gaussian surface has three surfaces. Surface number 1 and surface number 3 and surface number 2. Now let us have a small surface over here, which is nothing but dA. A stands for area and dA stands for a small surface which is taken out of this circular surface. Now here comes the areal vector for this surface, which is nothing but dA vector, and due to this charged wire, the electric field originates in all the directions around it. So let us take the direction of the electric field in this direction as E vector. So this E vector is due to this wire, charged wire. I have drawn it from this surface, and this is the areal vector for this surface. Now in this case, both the areal vector dA vector and the electric field E vector are perpendicular to each other. So the angle in between them is nothing but 90 degree. Similarly, what about the region 3? Here also I have taken a small area, so I have marked it as dA, and this is the areal vector for this surface, and this electric field vector is due to this charged wire. Again here both E vector and dA vector are perpendicular to each other, so the angle between them is nothing but 90 degree. But in the case of this region 2, I am going to consider a small surface on this curved surface. So this is the surface. So what about the areal vector for this surface, which is perpendicular to this surface, which is nothing but dA vector? And again the electric field vector is also in the same direction as it originates from this charged wire. So in this case, both the areal vector dA vector and the electric field E vector are in the same direction. So the angle between them is nothing but 0 degree. By keeping all these facts in mind, we are going to derive the derivation. Now first step, according to Gauss law, pi E is equal to surface integral of E vector dot dA vector is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. What does it mean Q enclosed? Q enclosed. The charges enclosed in a closed surface. That's what it means. Now, I am going to take this term and write over here, this surface integral of E vector dot dA vector is nothing but the surface integral of E vector dot dA vector due to the curved surface, due to this surface, plus, here see, integral of E vector dot dA vector due to the top surface, circular surface, top circular surface, plus integral of E vector dot dA vector due to the bottom circular surface. So all these together constitute this value. So what we are supposed to do is we are going to find out one by one and finally we are going to sum them up. Now I am going to take this one. Now I am going to find out integral of E vector dot dA vector due to the top surface. Here integral of, as we all know that dot product is equal to this, that's what, A vector dot B vector is equal to AB cos theta. You might have studied in your mathematics classes. So similarly here E vector dot dA vector is nothing but E dA cos theta. And in the case of top surface, what is the angle in between these two vectors? 90 degree we have already seen. So E dA here, what does it come? Cos 90 degree. Cos 90 degree is nothing but what? 0. So integral of E dA into 0 which is equal to 0. Similarly, we are going to find out integral of E vector dot dA vector for bottom surface. In the case of bottom surface also, the angle in between E vector and dA vector is nothing but 90 degree. So altogether when we integrate these terms, we will get 0 only. So we have written similarly integral of E vector dot dA vector for bottom surface is equal to 0. Then integral of E vector dot dA vector for curved surface. So E vector dot dA vector is nothing but E dA cos theta. In the next step, integral of E dA. Here in the case of curved surface, as we have already seen, the angle in between these two vectors is nothing but 0. So cos 0 is nothing but what? 1. So integral of E dA into 1 is equal to integral of E dA. Here this electric field E is constant, so let us take it out and we are going to integrate only the term dA. So when we integrate the term dA, we will get what? A, the area. So integration is nothing but for from smaller to bigger. So when we integrate a smaller area, we will get the whole area. So which is equal to E into, here which part are we supposed to integrate? Now look at the picture. Here is the diagram. So this part is dA. When we integrate the smaller part, we will get the whole part, that is the surface area of the cylinder. So what do we get? Now what is the surface area of the cylinder? Which is nothing but 2 pi r L. So we have written that. So in the next step, we are going to sum up all. Therefore, surface integral of E vector dot dA vector is equal to, first we are going to write the term which is due to curved surface, that is E into 2 pi RL, plus due to top surface is 0, due to bottom surface is 0. So on the whole we will get pi E is equal to E into 2 pi RL, let it be equation number 1. And we also know that from Gauss law, pi E is nothing but what? Q enclosed by epsilon naught. So let this equation be 2. Now from equations 1 and 2, what do we get? Here in these two equations, the left hand sides are equal, so the right hand sides must be equal. So let us write E2 pi RL is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught, which is nothing but equation number 3. Now linear charge density. We have already studied about linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density and all. For this derivation, we are going to take linear charge density, which is nothing but lambda is equal to Q by L. Therefore, Q is equal to what? Lambda into L. So, Q is equal to lambda L, which is equal to 4. This is the equation number 4. On substituting equation 4 in equation 3, what do we get? E is equal to 2 pi RL is equal to, in the place of Q enclosed, I am going to substitute this lambda L. So lambda L by epsilon naught. This L and this L get cancelled. Therefore, E is equal to lambda by epsilon naught will get this 2 pi R. If we bring it this side, it will come as a divisor. So, E is equal to lambda by 2 pi R into epsilon naught. This is the final expression for this derivation. With this derivation has come to end. With another derivation, let us meet in the next video.